Good afternoon, this is Joshua Fox doing my second weekly summary for Physics 112. It's Saturday around 3:30 in the afternoon. This week we had to read the Nature of Science document and comment on that. I did comment but have not commented on other students' posts as of yet. I have read through most of them, and I'll probably go through them right after this post is completed. We also had to go back and post regarding the 3 questions document, which was from week 1. I went through and posted about 8 or 9 posts to a few different students in the class. I really like the questions. I think it got us thinking about what we were going to be preparing and doing in this class for the next 16 weeks. So it was a great way to kind of get us all thinking and talking to each other about these different questions, how they link together and how they don't. We also had a neat resource due this week that was on 3D printing. The 3D printing topic is quite fascinating to me. I don't feel like it's changed my life as of right now, but many people that I am in contact with on a regular basis have never even heard of 3D printing before. So it was nice to see this topic brought up again in this class because it gave me an opportunity to search more in depth of things that are coming out with it. I looked through most of the videos and will probably go back through and look at the ones that I haven't looked at yet. The one that I chose was a TED Talk about building houses and other buildings with 3D printing, and the theory is that you would be able to build a house within 20 hours. And this is a 2,500 square foot house, which is quite amazing if you can imagine the amount of labor, parts, etc. that go into building a house of 2,500 square feet and how long it takes. And then to be able to just print it out in 20 hours, there's quite a large discrepancy there between the two. So I do hope that it happens to where we would be able to do that. There's way too many people in this world that do not have housing, and if we were able to minimize costs, labor, and time, there would be no reason why people would not be able to live in a house. So I think it's quite amazing and quite fascinating. We also in class talked a lot about current, voltage, and resistance. We went through a series current, and these are my notes from this week. We talked about the multimeter, which I thought was a great tool to know. As you see here, I've got the different measurements and the variables and how they correlate to each other, which I had never known. My father is a mechanic and he has the multimeter, and I've used it before, but I didn't even know half of this stuff. So it was really neat to pull it out and to play with it. We also learned about Ohm's law, which states that the voltage, current, resistance have relationship, and you can determine voltage if you have values for current and resistance. So it was neat to be able to kind of put all that stuff together and utilize it in class. Here is some pictures of in-class work where we were using the circuit or the series currents and measuring the voltage amount between the bulbs, which you can see was the same each time. There's a little bit of a glare there, but it should have read up as 0.185 as well. As you can see on these, it is also 0.0185. We also talked about a DC motor and the theory behind that, and that the source of all magnetism is moving current. So this was a really great way to kind of get into my mind that there is moving current creating a magnetism or a magnetic force that allows for movement. You can see it on the compass when you're working with current, but I think this was another great example of how we can kind of picture it in our mind and kind of get into a general idea of things that we see in our reality. So that was pretty much all of the week. We also talked about Lenz's law. And how there's a difference between the amount of mechanical friction. In the example, there was two tubes, a plastic tube and an aluminum tube, and that a magnet, when moving, will create change even in an aluminum tube, which is not necessarily magnetic, which I thought was a great example. So Lenz's law is the change in magnetic field in the presence of a conductor induces a changing in voltage in that conductor, which causes a change in the current in the conductor, which results in a magnetic field in that conductor that opposes the initial change. So all of this stuff was really interesting. I really had a great week. I thought that all of the examples that were given to us were really nice, gave me a better grasp of everything that we were going to be doing and the things that we were doing already. I had forgotten my lab manual that this past week, so you can kind of see this is just written on some regular notebook paper. So I'm going to go back through and write it up in my lab manual so that it's all in one place, which will be good because anytime you have to rewrite something, it sticks in your mind better. So I had a great week. My video was about 7 minutes long, which should suffice. So I'll go ahead and sign off, but yeah, have a great weekend.